You are joining me on the Scenic Route Sognefjellet between Skjolden and Lom, Norway. This route is only open for a few months during the summer and provides some breathtaking views of the mountains and the valleys in this part of Norway. Please excuse some of the quality issues with this video. The tour bus had tinted windows, which caused me a lot of issues at times. I also forgot my lens hood for my GoPro on this day, so there are more reflections off the glass than usual. Hopefully you can still appreciate the beauty I'm trying to share. Skjolden is a small village at the end of the longest fjord in Norway. It has a population of only about 200 people. There are some amazing views in the fjords as you approach Skjolden as well. The tour from Skjolden to Lom is a full day's tour, and my sister Melissa came along with me. My wife and other family members that were along on this trip chose to stick closer to Skjolden and explore some of the other things the area had to offer. The road continuously climbs higher up out of the valleys through the mountain passes. You travel through some scenic farmlands, forests, past waterfalls, and eventually above the tree line on top of the mountains, with views of the valleys below. There are scenic views to take in almost the whole way, but I will do my best to try and condense a full day of travel into a 15-minute video. We did make a few stops along the way, which I will be sure to narrate for you, but mostly I will try to be quiet and just let you take in the scene. Now might be a good time to jump in and mention that this road does have a lot of twists and turns, so if you get motion sickness easily, this might not be the best tour for you. Our first stop was at the Oscarshaug rest area. This gave everyone a chance to stretch and use the restrooms if they needed to. There were some nice views of the valleys and the mountain peaks across the road. The next stop was at Mefjellet. There are some interesting rock cairns, as well as a cubist stone sculpture by Knut Wood. There are some great views of some glaciers in the distance that can be viewed through the sculpture for some interesting perspectives. You're actually not too far from the Skjolden National Park. In fact, Olden, Norway, which I visited in a previous video, would be just over the mountains to the west from here. Eventually we dropped down into the valley near Lom. We stopped at the Lom Stave church, which is one of the oldest and largest in Norway. Unfortunately, they were having a service the day we were there, so we were not able to go inside. The Norwegian Mountain Center was just across the parking lot from the church, so we visited that as well. They have a lot of really interesting artifacts that have been pulled out of the receding glaciers in the area. We had lunch at an old hotel, and we had a great view of the church out of our window while we ate. On our way back, we stopped in the area of the Mefjellet Hotel and looked at the Saga Column. This column has several other names and has a somewhat controversial history. I would encourage you to look into it if that is something you are interested in. Back in Skjolden, there is another church, the Lom Stave Church. My wife visited this church while I was out on my tour. I did not have enough time, however, since our tour took all day. Much like entering Skjolden, there were spectacular views in the fjords leaving as well. We also went by a huge statue of a Viking that was a gift to a neighboring village by the Kaiser Wilhelm II. you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. You may also want to check out some of my other videos from Norway as well.